Thirsty Panda here. It's brew day, and it's also time to try one of my homebrew days. I'm gonna personally score my own beverage, which seems only fair. But anyway, I'll show you what I got going on the pot here. You can see that. There we go. Yeah. Calling this one the Poirot's Mysterious Rye PA. It's mysterious because it's using hops that I have no idea what they are, and we're just winging them. Got them from a buddy's parents' backyard, their porch. They've been growing hops. You can grow hops like pretty much anywhere, but yeah, because they're kind of a vine climby sort of thing, which is cool. I'm going to grow my own this year. I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to take a quick break as we head over to my lawn chair, and we're going to crack open a beverage. See you in a second. Wow, the magic of television. Well, not really television, but anyway. Man, those crows just won't shut up. Anyway, they got something going on. So yeah, this was my first all grain brew. All grain is where you're using literally all grains. So rather than using extracts, which can be liquid extracts or dry extracts, you're doing it from scratch. You're taking those grains and you're, as you saw over there in the old kettle, you're basically, it's like making tea really at the bottom line. So anyway, this is a kit that I got from Jason over at Gold Steam in Chilliwack, British Columbia, Canada. His link to his website, it will be down in the bottom. Anyway, this is, here we go. I even put a label on it. I don't know if you can read that or not. Anyway, it's a Tenacity, sorry, a Tooth and Nail Tenacity English Pale Ale. So the idea there is all the English created IPA. They did that just to get beer to India way back in the late 1700s. So anyway, generally the hops in Europe are a little different than the hops we have here in North America. So they make them a little less grapefruity or citrusy. They're a little more subtle. So anyway, brewed this up. This again was my first all grain. I do a boil in a bag methodology, which means basically I've got this large tea bag that I put all my grains into, and I'm able to use less equipment. Seems to work. Works fine. Great beer, and yeah. Anyway, so let's crack this bad boy open. A little more work here. Put the glass there. Crack it open. Oh, so this is roughly 4.85% ABV. The finished gravity, the original gravity is 105.2, the finished gravity is 101.5, and that's how you calculate out your ABV. So let's give her a pour. Oh, it looks pretty bad so far, doesn't it, folks? Oh, that's awful. How could anybody drink that? Okay, I'm going to tell you this, give you the straight goods on this. That bottle probably cost me $1 to make. $1. 650 ml, cost me $1, roughly. Probably a little more on my startup, but super affordable. So look at the head on that. That's just a good looking beverage. There's nothing wrong with this. I'll tell you, home brewing is really, you can create whatever you want, and you can end up with pretty much the same product you're getting out of the brewers. In fact, most of the brewers that you have today, these, you know, from these microbreweries or craft breweries, these guys started at home in their basement. I mean, you go to Callister's in Vancouver, and that's what they're doing. They're getting guys that are essentially working out of their garages or their basement, brewing a beer, being super creative, and they're coming up with stuff like this. So let's give this a sniff and see what we got under the hood. Oh yeah, bit of a sweet malty, very kind of a subtle fruit, a real subtle fruity smell to it. Yeah, it's a really nice smell. Okay, let's give her a swig. Very mild, got a bit of bite on the back end, a little fruity. Now this is just grains. Like if you're thinking that I've added fruit to this, there's no fruit in here whatsoever. This is grains, malted grains, and like a little bit of some hops and water and yeast. That's it. That's how you create your flavors. People think that there's a lot of fruit in these beers, like these IPAs and stuff like that. They say, oh, melon this or pineapple that or grapefruit the other. It's not. It's from the hops. That's where you get that, and you'll get a little bit from the yeast too. That'll add some character to it as well. Definitely a milder pale ale. A little bit of bitterness. I'd almost say it's almost a little too weak, and I'm thinking that it could have a little bit more on the malty end of it, because and I'm being critical of myself here. I was just learning how to do the all grain thing. This is all new to me. So I'm just going to give this a second to ruminate, and we'll come back. And I'm also going to check the temperature on my thing, because I think I got about another 15 minutes roughly before I got to do some sparging. I don't think you want to watch me sparge. Alrighty, so that was way too exciting for me. I kind of screwed up, but that's okay. Anyway, I told you I'm making my Poirot's mystery rye PA, and it's a rye pale ale. So it's like grains with some rye in it. And there's a bit of Munich malt in there to give it a little bit of gelman. Actually, it's a little bit of sweetness and nice real flavor to it. Anyway, again, the reason it's a mystery is because we have no idea what variety of hops these are. So these are whole leaf hops. There's a hop. Let's see. Come on. I'll be a hop head. There you go. There is a hop. It's actually the floral bud. These are flowers, and they're cousins to cannabis. They're in the same family. They're just this is a cousin. This one's married to Aunt Lucy's brother's sister's uncle's nephew. But anyway, oh, they smell wonderful. So this is about, don't get any ideas. That's about 30 grams roughly. Smells amazing. They're about a year old. I have no idea what I'm going to get out of this. I've got one other. I got one other beer going on right now. It's a Belgian Witbier. Got that going on right now. My goodness, that thing just spewed all over the place. It was crazy. Yeast just went nuts. Anyway, so we're going to be using these at various stages. When you look at bitterness on your beers and they tell you the IBU, that's actually a formula that's used based on the alpha acids that are inside these little flowers that when they're boiled, they release. They usually only get about like 30% of comes out of it, and that's where the bitterness comes from, and it's also where, again, the odor and a lot of the odor and some of your flavor comes from. It's really kind of cool. Very interesting stuff. So anyway, more importantly, back to my Tenacity Pale Ale. So as you see, that's a nice clear beverage right out of the bottle there, holding a little bit of licking the glass, as they say. Very kind of a fruity sort of scent to it, and it's a little bit on the sweeter side. So I'm going to brew this again. I think I really like this. I don't think I'm going to do any changes. Probably the only thing that's going to change is in that I'll be using a sparging technique and try to get as high efficiency as I can out of the materials that I have. So anyway, just encourage you to, if you're into it, if you got the space and you got some time and you enjoy beer, get into home brewing. It's not rocket science. If you can brew tea, you can make beer pretty much, unless you're really challenged, at which point maybe not. But anyway, I'm challenged and I can do it. So cheers. Stay thirsty, my friends. I know I always am.